You've been praised your whole life for being the responsible one, the achiever, the go-getter, the strong one, the one who never drops the ball. And yes, that may have gotten you success, but it also taught you a very dangerous lie. And that lie is that your value only exists in what you do. That is not true. Welcome to the Core Happiness Podcast. I'm your host, Kacee Banks, a mindset and positive psychology coach. On this podcast, we discuss all things related to creating happiness from within. So let's do it. Welcome back to the Core Happiness Podcast. Tell me if this sounds familiar to you. You check the boxes, you crush the list, you are constantly getting things done, you are on top of stuff, but still you feel unfulfilled. Does that sound familiar? And why? Why do we feel unfulfilled? Because somewhere along the way, you were taught that productivity equals worth. But here's the truth. Being productive is not the same as being purposeful. And today I want to talk about the real difference between the two and why it matters now more than ever, right? You weren't born believing that your value came from output. We weren't born that way. But somewhere along the way, usually in our childhood, someone, whether it was a teacher or parent or neighbor, babysitter, someone praised your performance, they ignored your presence, and they gave you value and recognition and accolades and thought your accomplishments were based on something that you do, right? And so we started proving. We started overachieving. We started perfecting, producing, hoping that finally, eventually, it would feel like enough. But instead of peace, all we feel is pressure. Instead of clarity, we are constantly feeling like we are confused, like we're lost. And instead of fulfillment, we just feel tired, right? We're fatigued. So let me be honest with you, and I hope you hear me when I say, it's not that you're unmotivated. It's not that you're disconnected. It's not that you're not ambitious. Because if anything, it's really that your ambition doesn't align with you. You're just out of alignment. Here's what I see so many of my coaching clients go through, and this is what I want to share with you today. Being productive is not the same as being purposeful. And I'm going to keep saying that. Why? Because productivity is a tool. It's not your identity. It's okay to get things done. I'm not saying don't get things done. It's okay to get things done, but you're not a machine. And I think it's important that we pause and ask ourselves, like, is this serving my soul or is it just serving my self-image? And a lot of times we are busy to make it feel like a sense of purpose too, right? If I'm busy, if I'm being productive, then I'm not lazy. I'm providing value in some way. But busyness is not a buffer. When we stay in motion to avoid emotion, that's a problem. So slowing down actually allows us to feel. And yes, that could be scary, especially if you've been taught to avoid your truth, but it's so necessary. Purpose lives in the why, not the what. You can do 100 things a day and still feel empty. But if you did one aligned yes that fulfills your why, your values, you can fill your entire body with peace. Just one aligned yes. So here's the deep shift that I talk to with my clients. And I hope you hear, not just intellectually, but I hope this hits you in your bones. Okay. You've been praised your whole life for being the responsible one, the achiever, the go-getter, the strong one, the one who never drops the ball. And yes, that may have gotten you success, and rightfully so, but it also taught you a very dangerous lie. And that lie is that your value only exists in what you do. That is not true. Here's what no one actually told you. You don't need to constantly Improve to be worthy of rest. You don't have to constantly achieve to be worthy of love. You are already enough as you are, even when you are still, even when you are resting, even when you are not doing, because you don't have to prove. You yourself, you're already proof. I'm going to ask this question. Who are you when you stop performing? Who are you? If you are not performing, if you're not pleasing, if you are not providing, if you're not doing, who are you? And if that question makes you squirm a little bit, if it makes you panic, then you found your work. Because real purpose is not about performance. It's in your presence. It's simply being you and being present. Your soul does not care about metrics and what you accomplish. It cares about alignment. It cares about meaning. It cares about peace. So instead of waking up and asking, what do I need to get done today? What if the question was, what would feel most aligned today? Instead of go, 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 what if we pause long enough to ask, what am I building and why? What's my why? And that may be the most important part, because if the life you're creating doesn't feel like yours, who are you creating it for? This isn't about quitting everything. It's not about stopping everything, putting everything down, but it is about remembering the you that existed before you were defined by productivity or doing. Because that woman that existed before, she's still here. She's just waiting for you to get quiet enough and still enough for her to come home to you. So here's what I want to do today. Try to write down the 3 top things that you do every single day, your default tasks, and just 3 of them. And then ask yourself, are these aligned with who I want to become? Or are they habits that I've kept to just prove that I'm worthy? After you've answered those questions, cross one off the list and replace it with something that reconnects you with your values, not your performance. What's the one thing you're letting go of to reconnect with your purpose? So whenever you are facing overwhelm, just remember it's not because you're weak or you're unmotivated or you're lazy, you're not disciplined enough. It's none of that. It's simply because you have been carrying too much for far too long and with little room to breathe. And that, my friend, is not a time management problem. That is a nervous system problem. So let's talk a little bit about the nervous system and what's really going on and how we can reset it, okay? Because overwhelm isn't about having too much to do. It's about how your mind and body have learned to survive under a constant state of pressure. Your default has become racing thoughts, a to-do list that multiplies the moment you sit down, tightness in your chest, like all that stress. That doesn't mean that you're broken. It means that you are operating in a survival mode. And most women have not been taught to listen to what the overwhelm is trying to say. When we feel overwhelmed, I think our body's communicating to us, but we don't really stop to listen to what it's trying to say, right? Instead, we blame ourselves. We think, I really need to get my stuff together. I really need to be more efficient. I need to be grateful. I need to be disciplined. But here's the truth. You don't need to try harder. You just need to feel safer. Let's break this down into 3 core insights to help really understand what's going on inside. Number 1 is that overwhelm is simply unprocessed emotion. Think about it. That's not a time issue. Yes, you may be managing some tasks, sure, but you're also managing emotions, decisions, expectations, disappointments that never had a place to land. And if you have unprocessed emotions, your nervous system is running the show, okay? If you're always in fight, flight, or freeze, there's not a planner in the world that can fix that. What you need is regulation before you can create clarity. You need a reset. You need to rebalance that nervous system. You don't need a new routine. And look, it's not this huge, crazy thing to do. Whenever you're feeling overwhelmed, you simply have to regulate, reframe, and redirect. What does that mean? It means regulate is to just breathe slow and deep. Inhale for 4, exhale for 6. We talk about breath work a lot on this podcast, and that's why it helps to regulate your nervous system. And then you can reframe whatever thoughts you're going on right now. A lot of times when we are overwhelmed, when we're anxious, we're thinking about the future, we're thinking about things that haven't even happened yet, and we're stressed about it. So reframe what is going on right now in the present. What's true right now? That's all you have to ask yourself. Not what you fear, not what you're scared of, not what could happen and I'm so nervous. What's real right now? What's real? That's all you have to ask yourself. And then redirect. And that simply means ask yourself, what is the next micro step that feels safe? That is how your nervous system meets your soul honoring clarity. That's how you can start to feel safe within yourself. Here's what I want you to know. And this might make you feel a little uncomfortable. You're not lazy. You're not too emotional. And if anyone said you're too much, you're not too much. Okay? You're not. You are a human being with a fully functional nervous system, one that has been functioning inside a culture of emotional suppression. You are taught that laziness is the same as rest, that boundaries are selfish, that slowing down means failing or falling behind. And so, naturally, our bodies have learned to stay in this tense, alert state. We've learned to stay in motion, and that overwhelm that you feel is not a sign that you're falling apart. It's a sign that your nervous system is waving a flag. It's waving the white flag of surrender saying, I can't keep living like this. I need a break, because we were not supposed to stay in fight, flight, or freeze. So you don't need more discipline. You just simply need more grace. And here's a reframe that I think changes everything. If you think about it, clarity isn't just mental, it's physiological. You can't think your way to peace if your body is locked in a panicked state. But you can create safety within yourself. One breath, one moment at a time, one boundary at a time. And the goal here is to make you feel safe. So when you're feeling overwhelmed, stop asking what's wrong with me, because we all do it, right? And instead ask, what does my body need to feel safe again? That's the shift. What do I need to feel safe again? That will take you from the mindset of performance to being present. It takes you from the mindset of guilt to feeling grounded. It takes you from panic to peace. So the next time that you feel overwhelmed, place one hand on your heart or on your belly, whichever works for you, and then just say out loud, I'm not in danger. I am allowed to pause. And then ask yourself, what is the next gentlest step I can take right now? That's how you reclaim safety within yourself. And that feeling safe helps you reclaim your power. So don't push harder. Don't add more to your plate. Don't put so much guilt on yourself. Instead, start by creating a calm, safe space within you. Just remember, you reclaim your power not by pushing harder, but by creating calm inside. And we too often look for the external to feel safe, to feel grounded. We look for something outside of ourselves, when really we just need to feel it within ourselves. So allow that woman that's deep inside you, the one you may still feel disconnected from, know that she's still there. She's still waiting. She's just waiting to feel safe, not so overwhelmed, not so buried. And then she can come back home to you. Until next time, find that peace within you. I thank you for joining me today. If you enjoyed this podcast, please feel free to rate it or leave a review. If you have any thoughts or questions, I would love to hear from you. You can email podcast@corehappiness.com. For show notes and additional resources, you can visit www.corehappiness.com. As always, please remember, never let anyone diminish your light. Until next time, sending you my love.